The Chuck Knoxx Show. Don't go to bed Mondays without it.
And we are live. Welcome, Giants fans, back into the Chuck Knoxx Show. Brought to you, of course, by BetUS.com, the official sponsor of this podcast and all things Chuck Knoxx. Make sure you hit the link wherever this podcast is in the description so you can get the bonus, sign up, and help out this channel and get your sports betting on. And with that, the Giants and Lions game just wrapped up. Week 11 matchup here at home. And a just devastating, disgusting performance by the Giants. One that we're going to go back and regret this one for a long time. But the Giants fall 31-18 at home against the Lions. The Lions go to 4-6. And the Giants drop to 7-3. And we're going to get into this game. We're going to break it down to the recap and the reactions right now. But really, I mean, you could tell by halftime that this game was not going to go into the Giants' favor. For me, this has been probably the last hour, at least the last hour, being able to accept the fact that this was going to be an L. This was one of those performances from the start. You could tell it. This was uninspired. This was, Giants making an enormous amount of penalties. 8 penalties. I think it's 8 penalties. I lost track. 1 million yards. The big story, obviously, was 3 turnovers. Daniel Jones throws 2 really bad picks. And later on, a fumble that really didn't even matter as the Giants were trying to drive and make something out of the game. Hodgins fumbles the ball. But there it is. I mean, we couldn't run the ball. You couldn't stop. Really, the Lions could do whatever they wanted offensively. They couldn't get in the end zone every time, but they were scoring points. The Giants seemed to be the team that was the non-dome team was the one affected by the win today. Gano misses 2 extra points. One of them looked like the first one was a finger. Might have got a finger on it. The second one was a complete doink right off the upright. And it just a microcosm of everything that could go wrong today. Started out, knew this game was coming in, how important this was. You couldn't overlook this. Philly obviously dropping that game to Washington last week. And throughout this game, if you were looking between both scores, the Colts had the Eagles on the ropes all the way to the very end of the fourth quarter. And, of course, the Eagles do come back and cushion their lead now in the East to 9-1. But the Giants never got off running today. The Giants opened up the game, starting out immediately a 3-and-out. And Jones was sacked. You could tell that the pressure was going to be a problem all day. And what's his name from the Lions, McNeil, unblockable today. Starts off the game. That was the tone for the game. The Giants would be under pressure. Could not get anything going in the run game. They start out with a 3-and-out. And then in the Lions' opening drive, this looked like a promising start to the Lions. They stopped the Lions on 3rd down, but Zimenez gets hit with a roughing the passer, a 15-yard penalty. And it would be the first of course, many stupid penalties by the Giants. Bonehead plays. And usually all of them came when we were at the verge of stopping a drive. So every single one of these was extending a bullshit drive for the Lions. But after that penalty, the Lions keep driving down the field, but the D does stop them. Giants defense has been second best red zone defense in the NFL. They, for their most part, held up here. They forced the Lions to go for a field goal, and the Lions go up early 3-0. On the Giants' next drive, Giants get a couple first downs, and then boom, we're already, right away, have a 4th-and-1 situation at midfield. Breida, good game from him today. He gets the first down. And after that, he bails them out again later, a few minutes later on a 3rd-and-8. Giants have the ball suddenly in the goal line. They're at 1st and goal. And right here, first quarter, Jones takes it in. Giants are up, touchdown, boom. And then the first miss of Gano, blocked, what do you want to call it, didn't happen. The wind took it. Either way, the Meadowlands ate it. Giants go up 6-3. And so here, by the end of the first quarter, it's 6-3 good guys. And looking like the type of game, if you can keep the Lions, around the 23, 26, 7 mark of points, you might have a chance to contain their offense because their defense is terrible. But the offense, on paper, the defense was terrible coming into this game. But offensively, the Lions put up points. So there you go. First quarter, 6-3 Giants. Wouldn't have wanted that unfortunate miss by Gano, but either way. But then the second quarter starts, and here's where things start to get a little downhill. But the Giants defense comes out in the second half with two dumb penalties on the Lions that forced them all the way back to a 4th and mile, all the way to their backs to their own end zone. So the Lions punt the ball. Giants start off second quarter, relatively strong. And then probably on the next possession here, I think it was second down play, the Giants have an unbelievable moment at home here. Kenny Golladay gets a nice reception up the middle and receives a standing ovation from the MetLife crowd, who obviously some of it was mocking Kenny Golladay, rightfully so. But either way, Kenny Golladay comes up big here on this drive. Giants keep on driving, but once again, the story of all these drives, they could drive, they could get to midfield, they could get shortly across midfield, but they have to come up short and another punt. The penalties were a problem too. Every time the Giants would do something positive, something would come back. Holding, the offensive line was a shuffle work in progress today, and it was evident by the fact that there was enormous amount of pressure coming up the middle. They could not run the ball, and they just were not in sync. Hate to blame injuries. I don't want to be that fan, but when you could see the difference between a makeshift line coming in compared to the last few weeks, the Giants have to get Evan Neal back. Hopefully today could be the beginning of seeing more of Nick Gates playing his natural position, which he did come into this game and handle business later on. But anyway, there it is. Another drive of the Giants gets stalled out. Giants have to punt. And here with the Giants, good field position here. The Giants had the Lions backed up into their 10-yard line. And as the Lions are backed up here to the end zone, a 3rd and 1 stop. A huge stop early in the second quarter here from the Giants. They force the punt from the Lions. Still rolling, 6-3 here. Around 6-something to go here in the second half. And they punt the ball, and Adoree Jackson takes the punt, and he has a weird landing, a weird tackle here. He goes down. Didn't think too much of it. And then, they come back from break, and they announce that Adoree Jackson is out. He's been in the blue tent, and everybody's fear of having a guy like Adoree Jackson go back and field punts becomes a reality here. This was something that everybody talked about. It was a possibility. You knew this could happen. And I don't blame the coaching staff. What are you going to do? You're looking across the field. You had guys that you brought in at the practice squad level, as we've gone over, who were out delivering packages for Amazon. You can't have Richie James, and critical punt returns. You can't have guys like Cager, another, more practice squad guy. So they took a guy who's got a history of being very successful at it, and it came back to bite him in the ass. And what we know as of right now, literally, we're just recording this right after the game. It's a sprain, an MCL sprain for Adoree Jackson. Timetable right now, 3 to 5 weeks. I mean, you're on a position like this. The secondary is so thin right now with the unfortunate injury of McKinney. And now you're going to go into Thanksgiving. You're going to go to 3 divisional games over the next few weeks because the Giants have the Cowboys, and then Washington and Philly. So you're going to be without Adoree Jackson and Xavier McKinney. So that was a blow. Right then and there, it's like, okay, shit, now Adoree's out, and he's been the second most reliable guy in the backfield and the defensive backfield. But here's the drive. Giants start driving the ball, and boom, there's Jones' first interception of the game, his first since week 3, and this one is in the hands of rookie defensive end, defensive hybrid. Aiden Hutchinson comes up with a big interception, and the momentum is clearly, absolutely solely on the Lions side at this point. And a few plays later, they knock it in here. Jamal Williams, which would be the beginning of a pretty big day for Jamal Williams. If you had him on your fantasy, congratulations, because at the beating the shit out of the Giants, at the mercy of the Giants, you had yourself a pretty big day. So Lions go on the board. Williams gets the first of 3 touchdowns and the Lions go up 10-6 in the second quarter. Next possession, same story. Mirage, a glimpse of what could possibly be a drive, but stalled out with more penalties. Giants have to punt again. And on the ensuing drive, Lions take the ball all the way down the field, just doing whatever they want at this point. Right before you know it, again, it seems like deja vu, but boom, right there, Jamal Williams, another touchdown, and the Lions score another touchdown. They're up 17-6. An absolute nightmare. A nightmare start for the New York Giants. Giants tried to do something before the half, couldn't make anything out of it, couldn't come up with, you were hoping they could come down the field, maybe get a field goal, maybe add some sort of momentum because the Lions were going to get the ball in the second half, but couldn't do absolutely nothing. You're going into the half down, believe it or not, 17-6 at the half. And at halftime, Giants fans were thinking, here we go, this is what we're known for is being the second half adjusted team. It mainly, a fourth quarter team, but really all the second half adjustments that we've seen from this coaching staff kind of gave you a little bit of hope that maybe they could stop the bleeding. But as soon as the Lions come out in the second half, driving, Goff looked pretty good on this drive. And there's Jamal Williams, again, just in a matter of a few minutes as they open up the second half. Jamal Williams with his third touchdown. And in the blink of an eye, the Giants are down 24-6. And here, you're waiting for a spark. You're waiting for something to happen that's going to show you this can't be the game that everybody's been waiting for the Giants, all the critics to happen. And it's happening right before our eyes. Giants get the ball back next, and the second of Daniel Jones's interceptions comes on this possession on a fourth down. Second, I think this was the second or third time the Giants already had to go for it on fourth down, but a bad throw by Jones here is picked off, and the Lions are going to get the ball back in favorable position again. And the second interception as the Lions take over here, but the Giants defense did come up big here. They force a punt, get the ball back here on the 5-yard line. So Lions weren't really able to do anything off that turnover. Maybe here comes the momentum, but denied again. Giants get to midfield, can cross midfield, like earlier, can barely cross it, get over the little logo, and then scared to death to go any further, punt again. And so that pretty much was the third quarter. Started off with the early Williams touchdown to come right out of the half, and it was just a lot of punting, a lot of penalties, trading punts back and forth from each team as we go into the fourth quarter with the Giants down 3 scores. Which was going in to be their largest deficit all season. Had a couple 10 here, 11 here, but now the Giants down big time in the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. But even in losing, this team does nothing the easy way. They don't give a fuck about your heart, your blood pressure. None of that matters. They take you all the way down here, Jones. Really, this was all Daniel Jones on this drive. Running game non-existent. Slayton was, his most reliable target today, but Jones really on this drive gets the Giants down mostly with his legs, right down to the goal line in a matter of minutes. Breida gets the touchdown here at the goal line. The Giants then, with Gano, miss, unfortunately, the second extra point of the game, and this one was a doink, straight off doink, right off the upright. Giants now trail 24-12, but it's a manageable game. All 3 timeouts. We're not even at midway point of the fourth quarter. Maybe a little bit of a false hope, but maybe. Things can happen. And then as soon as before the kickoff happens for the ensuing kickoff after the score, Aaron Andrews updates the entire world that things get worse for the Giants as now Wan'Dale Robinson out with a knee injury. He had a quick out to the sidelines, catch the ball, went down, looked awkward, didn't look that bad, but he immediately went to the blue tent. Then we hear he's gone for the game. And so really at this point, you're talking best everybody but Love in your secondary gone. Now Jones is gone to Wan'Dale Robinson on these short passes over and over again. It's how the Giants were able to kind of get something going on offense rather than trying to hit big plays to Slayton. And so now all of a sudden Wan'Dale Robinson's gone. Now he's out of the picture. Giants defense, though, responds to the Lions' next drive with another punt. So here you go. Giants get the ball back, down 2 scores. Moving the chains here. They convert. Nice big first down to Hodgins. Gets the first down. Big play, too. And then the very next play, Hodgins fumbles the ball. Clear fumble. Lions take over. 3rd turnover of the game. Absolutely just sealing any chance that you're going to have momentum to come back in this game when you're absolutely suicidal. Killing yourself. Penalties, turnovers. Get the fucking suicide hotline number ready. This team was absolutely killing themselves. Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because, again, I don't want to hammer on these guys, but guys like Hodgins, guys like Richie James, the guy we got from the Jets, these guys have no business being on the field. They have no business in a big game for a team that was playing for the division, obviously in a playoff hunt. They have no business on the field in these critical positions. But we have no choice because we're that thin. And again, one of the guys that we pay a shit ton of our money to just is nowhere. He's nowhere. Even on the field, he's not existent. The Lions take that 3rd turnover off the fumble, absolutely running down the Giants' fucking throats at this point. Within 2 seconds, it feels like they're right at the goal line, punching it again. This time, Swift scores. And the Lions go up 31-12 with 6:10 left in the game. So now, I mean, it's looking like it's pretty much out of reach at this point. Giants do get a nice drive, but on the field, 2 minutes here. Quickly, hurry up offense. Richie James, remember him? Here he is. Daniel Jones gets him in the end zone. And then the man I just mentioned here a minute ago, another practice squad guy, Cager, drops a literally wide open 2-point conversion. And you could feel that just the air just went right out of MetLife. Like somebody just farted. The whole crowd just smelled absolute shit on the field, and they left. Drops the 2-point conversion. Lions are up 31-18. 4:20 to go. Obviously, Giants are put in a situation early at 4:20 to go for an onside kick. It does not happen. And there you go. Lions at this point take over, and they're in cruise control. And that really doesn't matter what happened left. That was the final score. 31-18. Giants drop to 7-3. And as I'm updating this now, and I'm checking up the wire here, checking up the pages, and we do have this is the kind of season it is. This is, you never can predict how an NFL season is going to go. It's a tale of literally of 4 quarters. And right here in the middle of the third, at the very end here of the 3rd quarter of the season, things seem to be hitting a real mark, hitting the wall for the Giants here, as the update on Wan'Dale Robinson is a torn ACL. Says here he's going to have a scheduled MRI tomorrow to likely confirm it, but all reports are that he has torn his ACL. Wow. It's one of those perfect storms. It is one of those games where you can't even script the amount of shit that falls in your lap. Unbelievable. How cruel is that for a team that has just depleted at the wide receiver position? And here's the irony in this. The report comes out today that the Giants are literally in a bidding war, that it's down to 2 teams to see who's going to secure the rights to Odell Beckham Jr. The report is that it's Giants-Cowboys. That's it. 2 teams. Both have a visit scheduled and planned after Thanksgiving. So in 2 weeks' time, Odell first will visit the Cowboys, and then he will visit the Giants going into the first week of December. And the irony here, that we are now at the mercy. There's no question now. If you were one of the people that wanted Odell back, if you wanted OBJ back, the need for OBJ just now went through the roof. Before, it was a nice story. Could you help out the team? Can you be more of a reliable target? It's now a necessity. I don't know if that's good or bad for the Dallas Cowboys, because he would just be a piece there and an excuse if everything blows up for him. But now, for the New York Football Giants, you've just become a necessity. If I'm the Giants, if I'm Joe Schoen now, I am going up to David Seals. I'm ripping the fucking jersey off his back while he's wearing it right now. I'm getting Beckham Jr. stitched on the back of it. I'm calling him up. I'm negotiating everybody's contract. We're signing him for 3 or 4 years. You're going to get paid probably nothing this year for the, bare minimum this year. Stack it up for 2 and 3. See what happens in the 4th year. I'm just spitballing. But this is a necessity now for the Giants. You have nobody. You are a 7-win team right now, still playing for much of your playoffs, still playing for the division, but you're still in the playoff hunt here. You cannot go into this playoff race as Darius Slayton and Kenny Golladay as your top wideouts. Kenny Golladay doesn't exist. And so you're relying on Darius Slayton. Holy shit, have the wagons circled at this position. It has come full circle. It's a perfect storm for the OBJ crisis has come to home to roost for the Giants. A man of want has now met head on with a position of absolute need. I don't know what's going to happen, in 2 weeks' time. But if the Cowboys at this point walk away with Odell Beckham and leave the Giants are out here standing here with these wideouts to go and see what they can make happen in the final month of the season, first of all, that's complete bullshit to the fans and to your quarterback. Your quarterback who's out there trying everything he can, and you have got to do everything in your power to secure this free agency signing. I don't know what's going to happen, but the Giants, they're in trouble. They are in trouble because this week, this the game now, regardless of what happens in Minnesota right now, Cowboys about to kick off against the Vikings. Regardless of what happens in this game, we have to do things in-house right now because we have bodies dropping left and right, and we're in the midst of something special. Don't let the wheels fall off. This one stings. When you absolutely play like this, when there's no redeeming factor of the game, and you see all 3 phases of the game just play like shit, it doesn't even matter because now, we're learning after the game just how deep these injuries are going, how much these bodies are stacking up at the worst time of the season. But that being said, this is a 7-3 football team. Looked like shit today. You have to believe that this coaching staff has the ability to turn this thing around on a short notice. What a monumental task Dable and company and company are up against this week. You got to turn around in 3 days. Here's the reality. In 3 days, you have to play the best game of your life on the road on Thanksgiving. Wow. It's not a happy day. Not the game I thought we would get to. You can't overlook anybody. I don't think the Lions or the Giants overlooked anybody here today. They just didn't show up. Yeah, injuries suck. Penalties are fucking stupid. You play stupid down in the 4th quarter of the season. You're not playing come January, come February. We got a lot to fix and a lot to go over this week. This was not the way that the Giants should have ran into this showdown in Dallas on Thanksgiving, but nonetheless, that's 3 days away, folks. It's unbelievable. It's going to be a fast turnaround. This is a shitty performance. Nobody gets a game ball. Nobody deserves anything good said about them. So, hate to have it happen like that. That's the way it works. Sometimes you're going to have some terrible losses like this, but we got a fast turnaround. For me, for the Giants, content's going to be flowing out all over the week. We got a short week, so really, this is the post-game podcast. This is already dropping tonight. Reaction video will be out late tonight, Monday morning. By Tuesday and Wednesday, you're already going to have the podcast for the Thanksgiving game and already the hype video. So There's no sleeping here. Once again, check the description for this podcast wherever you go, wherever it's at, any podcast platform, YouTube. BetUS, the official sponsor of the Chuck Knoxx Show. Link in the description. Sign up, get yourself some cash, get your betting on, and have a short week here. We're turning this all around. Get used to this feeling, because we got 3 days. It's going to be in our system, but then it's going to be out. Stay tuned to all the links. Mr. Chuck Knoxx at YouTube and Facebook. At everything else, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Chuck Knoxx. And of course, here at the Chuck Knoxx Show, you'll be catching me every single day for the next few weeks, or for the next few days, all the way up to Thanksgiving. This is a tough loss, but it's been a magical season. Next time we see each other, next time we take the field, I don't know who's going to be on the field for us, but we'll see if this is the last game we play come this week without Odell Beckham Jr. Fingers crossed. On that note, Giants fans, you will see me really just in a matter of hours. And I'll be talking to you soon. Till then, I'm out.